Introduction about me. My name is Manoj, and I have been heading data and analytics practices in the various organizations like Adobe Systems, Dell, and Paro Systems for the last 20 years. I'm pretty much a practitioner too and have hands-on experience. I'm currently heading the data strategy of Union Insurance, and I will be your panel moderator today. Over the past 4 years, we have noticed a lot of exciting trends, and especially in the area of machine learning, NLP, which is natural language processing, and machine vision. These benefits comes along with its own challenges. And in our discussion today, we are going to focus on these trends, also some of the challenges and specific use cases in various industries. So to discuss these points, we have our panel members. So let me introduce you to our panel. We have Miss Laila, who is Senior Manager in MTN. She heads the data and analytics functions. We also have Mr. Alexey Sidorov, who is the Chief Evangelist with Denodo. Mr. Sidorov has 20 years of experience in data integration, data warehouses, data modeling, and data virtualization. So while others are joining, let us start our discussion. So let us start with Mr. Sidorov. So Mr. Sidorov, what are the tangible benefits does your organization or the industry associate with the recent developments of AI?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this question. Look, I'm the whole my life, actually more than 30 years already, I'm working with the data. I'm the data expert, right? And my industry is basically data management. So what we can see in our industry, that's a very interesting topic to discuss. Maybe we don't have even enough time for that. How artificial intelligence can be applied to the data management itself. So that's kind of a story that we really need to eat our own dog food, right? As a data professionals, we need to apply artificial intelligence to the data processes first. And that's what we're doing with Denodo, actually. Our data catalog tool, it leverage artificial intelligence to provide the smart data profiling, to find the sensitive data in the data sets, all that done with the artificial intelligence. We are moving towards like a next best data set recommendation for the data scientists, all those kind of application of AI to data management. It's very exciting, actually. And I see moving that to the areas of data quality. It doesn't have to be manual exercise anymore. Data can be cleansed by artificial intelligence much more efficiently, much more faster than by the human being. So that's the really application of AI in my area. That's how I can see that.
Sure. So in order to do that, I mean, I have practiced, I'm hands-on on Denodo as well. I mean, I have used data virtualization too. So my question is that what kind of a challenges that you can foresee there's these bringing these, auto detection or auto cleaning of the data sets while doing the integration using Denodo? What kind of a challenges that you foresee that are bringing to, especially to the data integration field?
Yeah, well, maybe I will start with a little bit more like a generic comment, right? Some time ago, the Google CEO, Sundar Pichai, he said that the artificial intelligence is one of the most important things the human being is working on after fire and electricity. Myself, I started my career with Russian Academy of Science, collecting and analyzing the data that was coming from the Chernobyl nuclear zone disaster, right? That was a very interesting project, but it literally that time I learned that the technology can be really of great benefits, but it be really dangerous. And we can only compare artificial intelligence to the things like a fire, electricity, and nuclear energy right now, because it's like a disruptive power. All those technologies that we can use for the benefit of human beings, they can really become dangerous if you misuse that, if you don't really build the proper security procedures around that. Artificial intelligence is one of those. And the challenges and the dangers are coming exactly from not like implementing artificial intelligence properly. Imagine if you allow artificial intelligence now to manage all the security framework of your organization. Are you sure that your sensitive data set will not get exposed to somebody? So there are a lot of things to really pay attention when we are applying AI to the data, and how we are doing that, what are the outcomes of that.
So next question to you, Laila. I hope while others are joining, we can start with you, Laila. Next question. So can you hear me okay, Laila?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So help us understand, do you have any specific roadmap for leveraging the specific new AI trends in your organization or the industry that you are working with?
Thank you for the question, Manoj. During my previous presentation, I already touched upon how we look at AI. So we don't see it as the end objective, but as a means to achieve certain business objectives. So that's also how we have envisioned our AI roadmap. Not necessarily that we are looking out for the newest technologies and then figuring out how we could use it in the business, but more the other way around. So we are trying to figure out what our overall strategic approach is and what those business objectives are that we are trying to achieve. Based upon that, we try to figure out which AI solution would be the best fit in order to guide us to achieve those business objectives. Because like I said, I on purpose use the word guide instead of the answers. AI is not a silver bullet, though it can be forceful if the user's aim is good enough. And as a business expert, when you get those insights that AI gives you, it's still up to you to figure out what it means and how you can use it and transform those insights into actionable actions. So based upon that, that's how we have envisioned our roadmap. So we have an overall strategic approach with certain business objectives, and based upon that, we figure out what the best AI solution is.
So next question to you, Laila, is, have you kind of challenges that you are facing in moving any of these AI use cases to actual production?
Yeah, it's not necessarily the adoption itself. I mean, it's not necessarily the implementation itself or the development, because most of the things we do in-house. And even if it's outsourced or we have developers, it still means that we are on top of it, meaning that we create the blueprint, we are guiding the whole implementation process. And that is for the solutions that we do not create in-house. But like I said, most of the solutions are even created in-house. The difficulty, and I think most of the companies have that, is the adoption itself. So it's great that you have a shiny advanced application or insights, but it doesn't stop it there, right? The most valuable part starts whenever you get those insights. How do you translate them into actions to achieve your business objective, to get to the strategy that you want to? And in order to do that, it's really important that you take your users and your stakeholders through the whole journey. They should have a clear understanding of what AI is. And I don't mean the technical part, but more how is their input needed? Why is their input needed? How does that influence what the outcome of the solution is? And moreover, once they get the output, what do they do with it? What does it mean when you give them, for example, the best case scenario and the worst case scenario? They should have a really good understanding of what it means and how they can translate that into actions. So that's a more of a, I wouldn't say an issue, but that's, I think, a more complex part of the whole process, and that we put a lot of effort in to make sure that that goes right.
Sure. Thanks so much, Laila. Well, some of the recent trends that we have observed recently, like GPT-3, I mean, the area of transformers in the area of natural language processing, or the driverless AI or auto machine learning are also raising concerns, not only to create fake contents that it can, but also the questions like, what if the AI is programmed to do something devastating, like, autonomous weapon that goes into wrong hands? Or what if the AI programmed to do something beneficial, but it develops a destructive method of achieving its goal? So considering these questions, I would like to ask you, Mr. Sidorov, what is your point of view on the application of some ethics on the development of AI? I mean, the aligning AI goals with the core human values, basically.
You are mute, Alexey.
Yeah.
Okay, you muted me, guys. Okay. So definitely artificial intelligence has to be managed by a human being and not other way around. That's the most important point we need to always keep in our mind, right? As I already said, this is one of the most destructive technologies that we are working. It's going to change the world completely. Really apply that really carefully and probably limit, even on the government level, limit the utilization of artificial intelligence, regulate it in this way or another. As any kind of technology, it can be used for the good, but it can be used for the bad, right? We are doing the face recognition exercises, right? You can get a lot of business benefits out of this, but also you can use the same technique to chase the people in some countries, right? You can really use the same artificial intelligence algorithms to develop self-driven cars, but you can develop self-driven tank to kill the people. Yeah. So the technology itself it's not good, it's not bad, it's just the technology. Good or bad is the application of that technology. And this is something that we can really regulate and put some rules around. That's my vision.
Yeah, sure. That also raises a very important question in line with what Ilyano was saying, right? I mean, when we talk about having ethics around the AI, right? The data which is available, like if you talk about the social, like Facebook, social account of any individual, if you go and search any individual, if you just know the names, you will find enormous information about the faces of his family members, his friends, who are he meeting with, which parties are he going to. So only creating ethics around the development of AI probably might not help. If the data is available, people might misuse it. As he was saying, anonymization of data. I don't know how would that work, but I totally agree with your vision that before we go ahead and start doing these, applications of new trends in AI, we should be having these specific standards in place. Yeah. So my next question to you, Laila, is specifically in your organization. If you name any specific use case, like I would take an example of the RPA that you talked. I think we also had a conversation. I asked a question regarding that. So, I mean, I myself have tried some of the use cases, and I found in some of the use cases, the AI doesn't work pretty well. And specifically that comes in OCRs. I mean, if the document is like having a content, which is like software generated, it's easier. But if it is scanned, there are like different kind of values altogether. So how would you address such challenges in implementing these AI related things in your use cases?
Thank you, Manoj, for the question. I think we need to keep in mind what the most important factor or characteristic of AI is, and that is that it's self-learning. So obviously in the beginning, it would not have that good of an outcome than, let's say, once you have trained it upon for a longer period of time and it has learned from its mistakes. So an important thing, like I said before, is because all of our solutions are built in-house, it means that we actually do understand what is going on behind the engine, and that we are able to back test it, improve it, and tweak it, that actually the intelligence becomes better or the brains become smarter. So in that case, we have covered that in that way. And we are aware of the fact that it's not only important to introduce your solution, but it's important to also, let's say, fix or solve the root cause of your problem. In this case, when you were saying, when you have data that is not coming from a system, you can choose to use AI to get the data, but at the same time, you should also figure out a way that this doesn't happen as of that point anymore. So you introduce a system. You make sure that those data glitches or problems or noise in the data are solved from the root cause. And sometimes that goes wrong within certain projects or processes, or with a lot of companies, that they try to solve the issue where it's feasible or visible. At the end, it's visible. Once people get an issue, oh, I cannot get that data. It takes me a lot of time to copy paste or to put it into Excel. And then they try to solve the problem as of that point. But actually, you would save a lot of time and make it a lot easier if you go to the root cause. The question is, why isn't there a system in place? Nowadays, it shouldn't be that difficult to find something, instead of wasting a lot of time to get like an AI solution or OCR to get the data. And that's the case that I discussed previously with Boom, our platform for P2P data. We spent a lot of time trying to even reach out to our stakeholders to get the data. Then we needed to keep track of what we have received, what we didn't receive, what kind of comments we had. Also, when we received the data and it was unstructured, we needed to get back to them, then keep track of whether they have answered us or not. And now with a system in place, there are controls. They are not even able to submit the data if it's not structured, if it's not harmonized, if it doesn't make sense. They would get automatic alerts or reminders when they haven't submitted that data. So you do not have to worry about getting to your deadline, because they already are being sent out. The only thing that you would need to worry about or need to focus on is, as soon as you have the data, when it's ready for analysis, how do I analyze this? And what are the insights that I want to get from it? And more importantly, once I get the insights, how do I translate this into action?
Very interesting. Thanks for your perspective, Ella. So, Mr. Sidorov, next question to you, I would like to ask, I mean, Denodo, what are the roadmaps of using these trends in your data virtualization roadmap? I mean, going forward, what are the new things coming up for Denodo? I know it's like really interesting to integrate the data on ad hoc basis. It really adds a lot of agility for me as a data scientist or a data engineer to integrate various data sources quickly and also maintain the data qualities pretty easily, irrespective of replicating the data from one place to the other. So zero replication, I can still consume that for my analytics purpose. And that solves the data flood problem, actually, at least tries to. So what are the roadmaps that Denodo have in terms of addressing these, the trends, how it is going to leverage going forward?
Thank you so much for this question. Thank you, Manoj. Yes, exactly. This is what Denodo is all about, right? We are providing the foundation for the modern data architectures, like not moving the data anymore, because really we are living in the world where the data volumes growing exponentially. We are reaching the point when you cannot physically get all the data to the single location. And that's why this new architectural approaches, they popping up, like a virtual data fabric and data mesh approach, multi-cloud architectures. All those architectures that really require a platform that can get the data in real time and bring it all together and provide for the data scientists, for the business analysts in ad hoc manner. What we are doing in terms of the artificial intelligence application to all those processes, it's really we're trying to apply AI to all the steps of this journey, right? Starting from the data profiling, data discovery. Also, we are applying artificial intelligence algorithms to improve and optimize the queries that we are sending to the data sources, because this is really the caveat of the whole like idea of data virtualization. You need to run real-time ad hoc queries to many data sources, and you want to do the most optimal, most accurate way. Also, we are applying all this kind of the same like frameworks that we apply to the customers, like a next best offer, for example. We're applying the same for the data sets. If a data scientist is looking for certain data sets, we can analyze his behavior and offer him, okay, you might be interested in that data as well. All this application of artificial intelligence for data management, it's really interesting story. And also, as I said, the next steps would be really automated data quality, data mastering, match and merging algorithms. All that can be really, maybe not completely done, but really accelerated by using the proper AI algorithms. This is our roadmap. That's where we're going to.
Sure. Thank you very much for your perspective and sharing the roadmap there. So, Mr. Musin, do we have other participants also joined in? Otherwise, probably we can open for the audience question now.
I'm here, sorry.
So I was asking if Mr. Ghanashyam or Mr. Kasir has got a chance to join, or otherwise we can probably open for a participation for the audience perspective or audience question as well.
You can join, you can involve the participants, yeah? That's better. Because they
Sure. Sure, so probably with that, I will open for any audience if has any question. Let's feel free to get benefit from the experiences of the learned members of this panel.
Exactly. So guys, this is the most important part of it, yeah? When the participants are all involved, not just speakers and panelists.
Well, anything guys around the application of the data or the data engineering or integration or the management? So you have the full suite available. I mean, you can ask any question here.
You can even type the question if you don't want to speak, or raise hand.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, Anjana.
Yes, hi. I'm not sure to whom to direct it to, but more of a question when it comes to the maturity of an analytics organization. I mean, we were talking about things like, you know, what to look into if when beginning of the journey, and then even applying ethics and different arenas when it comes to setting up an analytics organization. But for somebody to look into it from a snapshot, is there anything that we could refer to as to how to assess the maturity of the journey? Like, you know, what sort of things to look into step by step when you're proceeding in that journey?
Sure. So anybody would like to take? Okay, I can take it, Anjana. So, you know, Gartner describes specifically the maturity of an analytics organization on the basis on the scale of 1 to 5. And you can go ahead, it's freely available on net, pretty much in terms of if your data sources are not integrated, you are using the Excel sheets for data analytics, that's pretty much keeps your organization at level 1. If you start having the integration on data and all for various organization, like the data warehouses that we used to build for master data management long time ago, I think 10, 15 years ago, that keeps you or your organization in maturity level 2. I don't have all the details, but it's like freely available. You can get it. Gartner describes specifically points, and you can assess at a high level, definitely in terms of what are the specific symptoms that you can find out to find out which quadrant or which number of maturity that keeps you or your organization in. And I think the top, the level 5 brings in when your organization has a specific focused chief data officer, like a CDO, who focuses on the whole data as an asset for the organization, and they have the policies around that data asset, not only in terms of from where it will be, accumulated, how it will be curated, or the quality is measured, or the quality is maintained. The whole data from its inception till its end. So there is a specific individual who is responsible for it, like a chief data officer. That's what is the new role coming in. Some of the organizations started having it. Some of the organizations are not having it. But this is one of the symptoms of actually identifying whether your organization is at which level. But I will suggest it's a great question for anybody who is into the journey of analytics to find out where they stand, so that they can take next steps going forward into the right direction. So thanks for asking that great question,
Thank you.
And maybe Manoj, adding to your point, what you were just saying, that's more of a structure of the company or your organization, which is very true. But I think also there could be a focus on the data analytics itself, or on the analytics. So starting with descriptive analytics, looking back, knowing what has been happening, and then maturing to maybe a more mature level of analytics, going to diagnostic analytics, understanding why have these things been happening in the past. So it's not just only being aware of what has happened, but also having a good understanding of why certain things has been happening, and then going to an even more next level, which is the predictive analytics, trying to even predict based upon what has happened in the past, what will happen. So I think keeping the maturity of the analytics in mind too, that you should start small, really simple, having a good understanding of what you already have, and then try to extend that to more mature levels.
And also to add one more point, I mean, after predictive, there is something called perspective, right? The prescriptive analysis, like what if? So what if I will do this? What will happen? That, so things that have not even happened, you can still prescribe. So to take that.
What to do to achieve the certain goals.
Correct. Thanks for that addition.